This is one of the bars down this end, and most of the food's that way. We've just come down to a bit more of the quiet spot. I don't know if you can hear the music in the background, but there is literally a DJ spinning. It's 6 o'clock at night, and he's there spinning records. Welcome to Warsaw.
Welcome.
So we took a train yesterday. It was about 4 hours from the sort of Tri-City area where you would have seen in our last video, back down to where we are in Warsaw now, and we didn't film that day, and I'm pleased we didn't.
So am I.
So we did show the journey from Krakow up there, which was 8 hours in second class, and it was a really nice trip.
That was easy.
Yeah. Yesterday was fortunately not very booked because the train that we had, it's only carriages, and so, sorry, no, what do you call it?
Yeah,
compartments.
Oh yes, right.
So you have to sit opposite people.
I think it was like 4 and 4.
Yeah. The air conditioning does not work. The window just like you're just getting hay fever because it's just all of the
I think it was about 30 degrees yesterday too. But
yeah.
I mean, it was only 4 hours, so it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, so that was absolutely fine. But we're happy to be in Warsaw. We've heard a lot of good things about this place. So today we've got quite a few things we want to try and do, eh?
Yeah, so first of all, obviously we have to go and get some coffee.
Yeah.
So we're on our way now. And then today, the main thing that we're doing is visiting the Uprising Museum, which we've heard awesome things about, and we get to learn some history.
Yeah.
And then later on tonight, we're thinking we might check out some old night markets that are on like some abandoned railway tracks or something.
Yeah, we've had a flood of people recommending that we go to this place. So we're just walking away down from our Airbnb now, and we're going to go start with some coffee. Construction seems to follow us everywhere, doesn't it? This is the spot that we're going to that's in underneath here. That was a really sort of alternative cafe. People wearing sunglasses inside. It's super busy. It's a Saturday morning though, so that makes sense. Lots of tattoos, everyone with cigarettes hanging out their mouths. But this is the sort of general area that we're staying in. We haven't really explored much. So it's interesting to sort of walk around and see that there's obviously quite a few like local flats. And you've got things like this newer block here, this Costa Coffee. And then where we were was just up that way, whereas sort of again a mixture of some of the graffiti and everything along with some newer buildings. Crossing, go, 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 go. But we're going to make our way, try and figure out the public transport system and make our way to the Uprising Museum now. Much of the public transport around Poland, that was really easy.
Yeah, we took the metro, and I think it cost $6.80, was it?
Yeah, all up.
For a 20-minute ticket for 2 of us.
Yeah, so we only came about 3 or 4 stops after a little bit of a walk, and that was actually Google Maps that helped us with that one instead of the app, which I can't remember what it is.
I can never remember.
I can't pronounce the name. So now we're in a very different feel here, eh?
Yeah, it's very new, high-rise.
Feels like we're in a very commercial sort of area.
Yeah.
It's very quiet because it seems like most things like this, obviously commercial buildings, it's Saturday, most of them are closed today. Which, speaking of, the tickets to get into this place are 25 zloty each, and we read that Saturday afternoons can be really busy. We don't know if it's a busy time of year or what, but we bought the tickets online hoping we can avoid the queue. 25 each. But I think I can see it right here. The Uprising Museum opened in 2004, and it's sort of known as one of Poland's best museums. As the name suggests, it's dedicated to the Warsaw Uprising of 1944. It's tricky because our vlogs are not really intended to cover all the history of the uprising itself, but the museum was a pretty eye-opening experience for us, and so we sort of recommend if you are going to Poland that you should check it out as well. The uprising was a major World War II operation to liberate Warsaw from German occupation. There's obviously some pretty horrific stories about what went down over those few years, especially when you consider an estimated 85% of the city of Warsaw itself was actually destroyed during the battles. I think that's about as much as we'll go into the topic itself. If you do a quick Google, you can easily learn a little bit more about what went down. The museum itself was pretty interactive actually, and really varied as well. We sat down in a few spots to watch movies and different video footage filmed by the reporters on the ground at the time. is private tours that you can do, audio tours, or you can just go self-guided and walk around and read all the different signs and everything. But the building itself was really interesting because it's actually an old tram power station and is 2,000 square meters in size, split across various levels, I think 3 or 4 levels, and there's all these different smaller exhibitions in each of them as well. One of the biggest visuals we saw is this enormous plane. It was a replica of a B-24 of what would have been used to make supply drops over the city. This is an example of the sort of care packages that would be sent down from allies. They look like missiles and stuff, which is what we initially thought. But then you have a look inside and it's sort of going over some of the stuff that might be in there. Crackers and other types of food and iodine and grenades and whatever else was basically needed, and dressings and stuff. And I think this was like a parachute, so they'd be dropped down and they were just sort of care packages for people. There's honestly so much to see inside that it was mind-blowing, and there was so many different artifacts as well. They have everything that they've kept from that time, and everything from old letters and religious pieces. There's weapons at almost every turn, old jewelry, medals, and yeah, so much more that we honestly just don't even have time to cover off in this small segment. Well, that was obviously a pretty heavy subject to tackle in a vlog that we like to keep quite fun and entertaining and like informative and cinematic.
Yeah, we're really glad that we went, but it's kind of hard to come out and go, wow, that was amazing, because
Yeah.
you're feeling so many feelings.
So much emotion. Yeah, it's a tricky one. I hope you enjoyed our little voiceover like snippets and a bit of the behind the scenes stuff anyway. We've just come out now, we're walking up. We spent about 2.5 hours maybe walking around there.
Yeah.
Just come up on top of some wooden structure we just randomly saw, so we thought we'd walk up, and it looks like it's like, not sure where it's actually leading to, but there's a little garden around the outside there. Looks like it's a pretty new construction based on the wood and everything that's here. But yeah, we don't really know where it's leading to. We're just aimlessly walking up. There must be a little restaurant or something, or a cafe down here. Now we got a 20-minute walk to the Nocny Markets. Rain has hit. We've been so lucky with weather, haven't we?
Yeah, we have been until now, but it's actually quite cold as well as being rainy.
Yeah, I think when we looked earlier it was 16 degrees perhaps. And like that's not actually too cold because there hasn't been much of a wind,
No.
but now that it's actually raining as well, it's not as ideal. But anyway, this is we think this is the train station all the way along here. And that's the market. Somewhere down there, we think.
Fortunately, the night markets are undercover, so we managed to escape the rain, which is good. We've just done like one lap just to scope it all out before grabbing a beer. There's a lot of Asian food, which we were pleasantly surprised about. There's like Korean food, Vietnamese, we saw sushi,
yeah,
so Japanese, Thai, and then there's a couple of like Polish things mixed in there as well.
Mexican. Pulled meats and
barbecued meats and stuff. So we've got absolutely no idea. We had to like take a minute and sit down before we decide what we eat.
Because then you've got like burgers and pizza and everything.
Oh, I don't know what we're gonna choose.
I don't know why they weren't serving Polish beer. This is Estrella. Reads as Estrella to us, but it's the Spanish or beer from Barcelona. That was 10 zloty each. We've come down the end here. It's a very sort of alternative vibe here as well. A lot of like coloured leather and strange sunglasses and stuff, but this is one of the bars down this end, and most of the food's that way. We've just come down to a bit more of the quiet spot. I don't know if you can hear the music in the background, but there is literally a DJ spinning. It's 6 o'clock at night and he's there spinning records, and then we're just sort of overlooking a field here, and then there's trains there. We ended up going for a pulled beef burger each. Absolutely amazing. The meat is so tender and just absolutely falls apart. And there's like a barbecue sauce, some chipotle, onion, and pickles in there as well. It might seem weird, like if you're wondering why did you get that when there's so many of these amazing exotic Asian food here. If you're a new subscriber, you might not know that we've literally spent pretty much the last 12 months living and traveling around Asia. So I think this is maybe video 173 maybe on our channel. 150 of those or so are from Asia. So when it comes to food from that sort of region, nothing really in Asia or Southeast Asia is really that foreign for us. So that feels like homely, but with food like this, we don't really come across much or haven't much. The next video that we do is going to be a vodka tour, which a lot of you guys that watched our Krakow videos said that you really wanted to see us do. So we've locked it all in. We're doing it in a day or two time, where then this video will be up in about the same amount of time as well. So do subscribe and check back for that one. But as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you in the comments.
Bye.
Bye.